Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're tackling something loads of young people grapple with, being a student athlete. Balancing school and sports. Our source, student athletes, balancing books and ball, gives a really honest look at why this is so hard. And, more importantly, what actually helps. So our mission is to pull out the key insights for you. Okay, let's get into it. So right off the bat, the most obvious challenge for these student athletes is just time. There's never enough of it. You've got long school days, then homework, projects, studying for exams, and that crashes right into really demanding training, matches, sometimes a lot of travel too.
Yeah, it's a massive time commitment. It's almost like holding down two full-time jobs. And what's really fascinating, or maybe concerning, is how that schedule does more than just eat up hours. It hits their thinking. The source material highlights this connection. The physical fatigue from all that training, it can genuinely impact focus in the classroom. We're talking about a real lack of mental rest. It's not just being tired, it affects concentration.
So it's not just willpower then?
Not at all. It really ramps up the risk of burnout, serious stress. They're pushed to juggle everything perfectly.
That internal battle sounds intense. But the material also talks about pressures coming from the outside, right? Like academic pressure, marks often being the top priority.
Yeah.
And this real fear of falling behind academically, it can actually make kids hesitant to stick with sports.
Exactly. And tied into that, you often find significant parental and societal expectations.
Yeah, the source mentioned that. It's interesting.
Well, sometimes academics are pushed as the only serious path. Sports might get treated more like a hobby, maybe a nice accessory, but not a valid pursuit in itself.
Which must create a lot of conflict for the student.
And if you zoom out, you start seeing these bigger sort of systemic hurdles too. The financial side is huge. Equipment, coaching, travel, tournaments, it all adds up fast.
Right, the hidden costs people don't always think about.
Precisely. It can create a real divide, unfortunately. Who even gets the chance to compete at higher levels? Then there's the support, or lack thereof, from some schools. Maybe poor facilities or just treating sports like an afterthought, an extra.
Not really integrated into the school's core mission.
Yeah. And another big gap, clear guidance on sports careers. Like, what are the real pathways, scholarships, professional options, even just how athletics translates to other skills later. Without that vision, it's hard to see the long-term value sometimes.
So many layers to this problem. Okay, so given all these challenges, the time, the pressure, the systemic barriers, what does the research actually say works? What helps these kids thrive?
Well, the source points to some really practical things. First up, time management skills, actually teaching them how to juggle these crazy schedules.
Giving them the tools? Makes sense.
Definitely. And then school policies need to be genuinely supportive, not just words, but actual balance policies, flexible arrangements, good infrastructure, real understanding.
So the school needs to be actively involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And parental encouragement is key too. But encouragement that values the sport itself, not just as a means to an end.
Shifting that narrative.
Right. Another interesting point was early exposure to organized sports. It builds skills, passion, sets a foundation.
Okay.
And finally, things like scholarships or specific rewards for achievement in sports. They provide tangible recognition and can open doors, make it feel valued.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it? Being a student athlete isn't just about personal grit. It's clear that support from schools, families, the whole system is crucial. It needs that wider recognition that both academics and athletics are valuable.
Which really brings us to a bigger question, I think, something for all of us to consider. How do we, as communities, as institutions, actually evolve? How can we better integrate academics and athletics so they're seen and supported as equally important paths? Ensuring young people feel genuinely supported to excel in both areas instead of feeling like they're forced to make an impossible choice between them.